What's up, guys? Welcome to Game Week 37 podcast. I've got Rishant with me, uh, who played the wild card, and I would say it went up decently. Um,
Yeah,
Compared to how the week went for most people, I guess it went off decently. So this is my team. I took two hits. I mean, three hits. I mean, two hits. I took three transfers to try and field 11 players, and I still ended up with fielding 10 players because I now have a giant size no Jota for the rest of the season hole in my team. The two players I bought in, Meslier and Dallas, were kind of the ones who ended up getting me the points. Apart from Salah and Trent and Kane, the rest didn't really do anything. Was a surprise to see Everton, which I didn't expect. But yeah, that's my team, 56 points. Tiny red arrow, like 1,000 places down, but not too bad. And then this is Rushant. Do you want to walk through it?
yeah. So I think what you said about the Everton getting considered, so I had double Everton defense, including Pickford and Digne. So yeah, I did my wild card this week. Last week, we haven't spoken about last week yet, have we? Well, that's fine. But last week, I think we came back. I was kind of saving my wild card. I was kind of thinking whether I want to use it last week or this week. Anyway, I chose to go this week because I thought I'll go dirty and, last week's do as many transfers as I can. Had triple United. And I thought, I'll just do a full refresh. So my wildcard team this week included the two Everton, which I hope for a clean sheet and could have changed the dynamic of my league, but ended up conceding a goal to Sheffield United, which no one expected. Apart from that, I think I went with Dallas, Rafinha. I actually didn't start Bamford, interestingly. He has been sort of in a bit of a weird form lately. So I went with, and I had better options starting as well. So went with Dallas, Digne, Trent back, Rafinha, Salah, Bale, Son, Lingard, Antonio, and Kane. West Ham players didn't deliver. I think it's the same for everyone as well. For everyone else who had West Ham, they considered an early goal. Welbeck scored. Bale got a weird assist, which gave me 7 points. I don't know how that was considered an assist, but I'll take it in whatever form. And Rapinoe was probably the lowest scoring midfielder in Leeds, but he still scored in that particular game.
He got an assist.
Yeah, he got an assist.
Yeah, his assist was also a weird assist where he passed and then the guy who scored it did like a full.
He passed at like their defensive third, like first. I was like, what the hell? And then I was surprised when I saw that. I didn't even realize. I was watching the game, and he had much better chances early on. He just kept stuffing up in terms of finishing. But I saw the points go up. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I for a reason I thought Dallas was going to score. Yeah. And then I thought, like, how did he get the assist? And I rewinded back and I saw, and he did that initial pass to the defender who brought it all the way. So that was good. And then Kane obviously scored. It was good. Yeah, I guess overall wasn't too bad for a game where I had probably the advantage in bringing the wild card compared to everyone else. Probably not so great in terms of me getting a lead. But
yeah, but I think people who did wildcard and free hit also didn't. I think this is the average score for even a free hit or wildcard team. Because like all the players that you could think that you would want to bring in for this week, even to target this week specifically.
Yeah.
There was so much talk about Mahrez, Foden, Ederson, and like none of them started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
City was a weird score. Like that's the thing. First game I saw the score, I was watching 4-3. I'm like, no way. Like you'd think that the usual suspects would have scored, but then you look at Ferran Torres and watching the highlights as well. Like all the goals he got was just like random. Like he was just there at the right place. So City just shown that they can win no matter who they put on the field now.
Fair enough. That's what. And then you got Mitchell there, 3.8.
Everyone's got Mitchell on the bench, yeah.
I know.
13 points.
Just to fill squad value, and then
I know
does that.
Yeah, look, he wasn't even the player. I brought him in just because he was the cheapest defender.
Yeah.
Like he was not going to start. He's legit there as part of my wildcard team. Yeah, I think some people had him as first subs and second subs, and people who had Jota and him benefited from getting his bench points off the bench. But
that's the thing.
I don't think many people really had him, which is not too concerned. But look how often
yeah. Yeah. So I was initially before the Liverpool lineup and before Jota news, I was like, Lingard, you're not doing really anything. He hasn't done anything for the last 2 game weeks as well. His stats have kind of like fallen off a cliff as well.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I need to bring in someone. Last 2 game weeks, try and find someone to get points. I was looking at Lingard, and then Jota got injured for the rest of the season. And now I'm like, okay, so that means Lingard has to kind of stay unless I take a hit or something, which I probably don't know if I want to do. So Jota replacements. So we've been looking for Jota replacements. And I went looking, I found a tool for like a site with like stats and everything. So this should have last 5 games. And I've sorted it by expected goals. And here you go. So last 5 games, you have Harry Kane right on top for expected goals, followed by Chris Wood. And I think Chris Wood has Sheffield United on last day.
Last game, 38.
Yeah, but then again, Sheffield United went and got a 1-0 thing. Like all the teams that got relegated, except for Fulham, have decided to like put on performances. Like yesterday,
so what they're doing is they're giving all their under 18s a go, like all the young kids who haven't really had a chance to play. And that's turning out, they gain the opportunity to show themselves. So they're actually going to try retaining their spot or try getting the first 11. So I mean, even though on paper they might look like their team's getting relegated, you're going to have surprises like this. And I'm sure there will be a couple more surprising results in the next 2 weeks. Interestingly, good thing is like
next 2 game weeks.
Next 2 game weeks is going to be crazy. I think like all these teams where it looks like it's favorites, it's not really going to be favorites. Like especially with like so many things like Champions League and Europa League to consider as well. You just don't know which starting 11 is going to start. I was looking at United players, and then you just can't take a gamble on, with Europa League coming, they've already secured top 4 ish. Does Ole want to retain his second place just to, secure his job? Or does he want to, focus more on Europa? Because you saw how badly they played last game. United haven't, in the triple game week, they didn't win, but so lost 2 games. So,
but they're playing Fulham.
Yeah.
Who defensively haven't been that great. So I've sorted this by last 5 games and expected goals against.
Yep.
And Fulham are here, 3, 4, 5, 6. Newcastle, obviously, with the worst defense right now. You're going into game week 36 potentially without no United players. Are you feeling okay with that, or what's the plan?
Look, so everyone's got Fernandes sitting on their bench. People who benched him. Look, I think United will probably go hard this game week, just so that they want to get that fans. Exactly. That's another thing to consider as well. They are playing in front of fans. My only thing is, I'm not too concerned about not having too many United players, just because of the fact that I feel like most of them will be rested for the Wolves game. That's just my, sort of
that's the thing.
Prediction. And
I think anyone bringing in United players, most likely you're going to get 1 game out of the 2.
Exactly. So I'm not too concerned about, the fact of not having United players. I mean, if Fernandes goes big next week, I'm in trouble. But
then you have 38 to.
And the thing is, like, my thing is, if I bring in Fernandes for 1 game week, I'd rather bring in someone who's going to perform and is going to be really scared, like, who's going to be really effective each game week. And obviously, wildcard again, I kind of, obviously made sure that I'm bringing in players who can contribute in some level, at least fixtures-wise, or even like, in terms of ownership-wise and position-wise, these guys are, kind of the template, the template we've been talking about throughout this whole season. I would say most of these guys are the template. I mean, interesting. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then so I was looking back again. So expected goals. So Iheanacho is still there. He'll come back, but he's playing. I believe they're playing Chelsea upcoming, and then they have to play Spurs. So tough fixtures there. He didn't do well that much in the FA Cup as well. So we'll see how it goes. Shea Adams, Southampton. Salah is on the goals, so I think he's a favorite captain option, especially the last game week because they're playing Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And so he'll most likely be the captain option. Bruno Fernandes right here. Calvert-Lewin. I thought Calvert-Lewin would have been a favorite for this week against Sheffield, and clearly nothing happened, so not really sure. El Ghazi has been back on the goals as well. He's got 3 in the last 5. And then finally Joe Willock for Newcastle, who's playing
as well.
Sheffield and Fulham.
Yeah, Newcastle have some juicy fixtures. Well, so you think, but like they have been scoring recently, even before Callum Wilson got, obviously when Callum Wilson came back, they start scoring.
Yeah.
But
so Newcastle have Sheffield and Fulham in the last 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I was like. When Callum Wilson was a target for me, but then he got injured, and then I was like, who's going to, like, when Callum Wilson is gone? I think I was like, okay, maybe it's just Saint Maximin who's going to bear that entire responsibility. Do you really want to get someone who's going to have to bear the whole team? I wasn't sure about that, but then Joe Willock has been stepping up. He's been doing really well. But I think there if you were to look at teams to target, it'll probably be Leeds, West Ham, as the top 2 probably. Liverpool. At this moment, I think a lot of people have either 3 Liverpool, or in your case, you have 2 Liverpool, and you have the most attacking order 2 as well in Trent and Salah. The question is, now with Jota injured, that means Mane and Firmino are guaranteed starts as well. So for anyone, and it seems like Liverpool aren't going to give up because, like, they've managed to fight back yesterday, and Alisson scored a goal as well, which we didn't expect. I thought Liverpool were out.
Yeah, that was crazy actually. Like that was Alisson was. I know that they conceded first, and then obviously Alisson. They just needed to win. And did you hear the news about Alisson's dad as well? That whole.
Yes, I heard. Yeah.
So it was a very emotional thing. Yes, I mean, that was a crazy moment. Actually, I watched the game. So like, I mean, coming back to Liverpool, I think you're right. Mane and Firmino would start. And I was looking back at the highlights of the game yesterday as well. They looked like they were actually threatening. So Mane had a few good attempts. Firmino hit the crossbar once. Surprisingly, Salah didn't have many attempts. From the looks of it, I think he had one where he kind of choked in like a fast break. But I mean, Trent's still delivering at a rate which is insane. Jota's out, so looking at the third Liverpool option is good. However, people who it's hard. Like my problem is budgeting him, because if I have to bring in Mane or Firmino, I need to drop one of my other players. So
it is not easy.
Exactly. So it's the kind of decisions I need to make. And looking at my other big hitters I got triple Spurs. I got Son, Kane, Bale. The way they play, you can't go wrong with having either one of them. I feel like they're with Ryan Mason in now. Like these 3 are getting. I mean, obviously Kane and Son always, but Bale's getting a good chance as well.
And having all 3 of them is a differential as well, because not everyone's going to have all 3 of them.
Exactly. Oh, I need to sort of see what I want to do. It'll be interesting. Like I don't know. I haven't made my transfer this week. I don't know what I want to do.
I think a lot of people.
Liverpool playing Burnley. They're good fixtures. Aston Villa just conceded 3 goals to Crystal Palace.
Aston Villa haven't been defensively good after they lost Grealish as well. Because they don't want to hold
now, but he didn't do anything. Like I watched Grealish yesterday.
That's what
did nothing. So
apart from Watkins, who happens to continue to get assists or some attacking returns.
Watkins being a pain. Watkins has been definitely a pain. He's just I'm like very consistent. It's been very consistent. gets an assist here and
He
there.
wasn't consistent when I had him in my team. The moment I got him out of our
They never
wildcard,
are,
he's been
Ryan. They
consistent.
never are.
Yeah. So I don't know. But they have Spurs have Aston Villa. I think Spurs can get goals in that game. And Leicester. Something else to think is like both Kane and Salah are in that golden boot as well. And both scored this weekend. So I'm sure that both are still going to continue to score for the next 2 weeks as well. Because there's more at play for them as well.
Yeah, I definitely think Kane and Salah are pretty much must-haves now for the next 2 weeks. You're not going to drop them unless you're trying to, I don't know what you're trying really, but yeah, I mean, if you want to try something complete, if you're really behind in your league and you need to catch up, maybe you try something crazy.
But like, who are you going to bring in replace all those two? There isn't like
no, there isn't anyone clear. Like, look, there's been a few good like mid-cheapish options in terms of players who've been in form. Like, you have. They're all random. Like Harrison scored like an assisted over the weekend for Leeds. You have the Eberici Easy from Crystal Palace, and he's been a dark horse. Like if you look at his like points recently, he's just he's been delivering even the double game week as well. So
their next two is Arsenal and Liverpool. So
true, it is going to be harder than usual. But I'm just saying the form Crystal Palace have been in recently with Benteke and stuff. It just opens up a lot more diversity for people who are sort of in the mid-table and trying something different. It is going to be very risky, and I'm not saying it's something you should be eyeing for, but at this late stage of the league, who knows? All it's going to take is for Salah or Kane to blank, and then you have someone else. That it's at least when they blank, everyone's going to blank as well, right? So you might as well have the differential.
Yeah, true. I guess these last 2 weeks, it's you play it safe or you go big or go home.
You go crazy. Exactly. Exactly. So that'll be interesting.
And so Matthias Pereira is another one. I think you haven't mentioned. West Brom. So I was looking at midfielders for like replacements for Diego Jota for a lot of people who have. So you've got Gareth Bale, you've got Heung-min Son here. In terms of expected goals, I've sorted it. Joe Willock, we mentioned. Garci, Bruno Fernandes right on top there. Pablo Fornals. I won't touch a City player because I don't know who City are going to in the field. And then Mason Greenwood. Anyone who wants to do a straight swap for like price.
Yeah, I actually think Greenwood, like, you saw the way he played in the last 3 games. He was used, sort of every 60 minutes each. So I suspect, over the next 2 games, he's obviously going to be a big part of United's Europa League as well. But I suspect he won't start the Europa League, which means he might start in these 2 games. So he might rest the likes of Rashford and Cavani and stuff for the Europa League finals. And they might start Greenwood. So I think he'll have a run in the next 2 games, at least in some aspect.
I would favor him over Bruno Fernandes to play more minutes in the next 2 games.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking as well.
I think that because I think the Europa League final, the front four is going to be Pogba on the left, Rashford on the right, Cavani striker, Bruno Fernandes right behind him.
They got the same. I think they might go the same way they played semis. So I think their big focus is going to be Europa, obviously.
And game week 38 is like 3 days before Europa final as well. So
they're going to be sure even I was looking at United defense, like Shaw and Wan-Bissaka.
They can be rotated as well.
Exactly, and we saw that already. They played one half in the previous game, so there's so much of rotation opportunities, which is why when you ask the question, am I worried about not having any United players going in to 36? Probably no, really. It's my only real risk is Bruno Fernandes going big this week.
Going big,
really big. Apart from that, like I'm happy taking a bit of risk, because
fair enough. So looking at teams, so if you look at, I think Leeds, we're targeting probably West Ham as well for midfield options. We spoke about Newcastle, who have good fixtures, and then Liverpool. So I'm just going to sort this to see like midfield options to replace for Jota. And right up there. Joe Willock, Pablo Fornals, Stuart Dallas. He's not a midfield option. Why is he here? I don't know. Jack Harrison, he scored and got 2 assists as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Helder Costa, Thomas Soucek. I think Soucek got a fantasy assist. I don't know if it's not counted here. These are the players right now that's mentioned. No Jesse Lingard. Like we said, his stats have fallen off a cliff. So I don't know. But I think initially it would have been Jesse Lingard to be replaced, and I would have kept Diego Jota because Jota still had the stats backing him.
Yeah.
But now that Jota is injured, someone else has to be replaced.
Yeah. See, West Ham is it was weird. I actually think they had a one-off. For some reason, I feel like they dropped from top 4 now, but they will fight back strong because this is their season to they had a chance. They had a very good chance of securing top 4. And you wouldn't say that through it. It's very competitive, that mid-table, the 3rd, 4th spot. But I suspect Moyes won't go down without giving a good fight. So I think they'll rebound this game. So, even though Lingard has been in a bit of an average form, I think he'll step up this game. I just have a feeling. So I wouldn't discount Lingard just yet. Stats-wise, I understand. But just they have that bit of fight in them. And you see Soufal as well, like it's attacking a lot.
Yeah. I have to be very careful with not owning him.
Yeah, they have that attacking threat. So
yeah,
I actually, at the moment I have a couple of West Ham players in my bench, but closer to the game, I might even start them. Like just seeing how close they are.
Because they have good fixtures. Yeah.
West Brom and Southampton. So,
and even if they don't get Champions League football, they still have to fight for Europa League, because that Europa League spots are also tight, because you have Spurs, you have Everton, Liverpool, or whoever falls out from that, Chelsea maybe, all fighting for those European spots. So they can't let their foot off the gas, because nothing is still secured for that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Then so replacements, I guess you have to look at Leeds or West Ham for midfield replacements. Newcastle, we've been talking about Willock as well, could be an option. And maybe Liverpool, I don't know, depends on people's budget. Mason Greenwood for Jota as well, if anyone wants. But let's move on to captaincy. So this week, captaincy options, I think the favorites still probably Salah and Kane. Because they have something to play for in terms of the Golden Boot, and also European spots, especially in terms of Liverpool. United, they're playing Fulham. Obviously, Fulham's defense hasn't been that great, and United are playing at home in front of not a full packed Old Trafford, but about 10,000 fans, which is still something. The question is how strong. I think United might go strong for this week and then fully rest for the next game. And if people want to bring in between Bruno Fernandes and Mason Greenwood, I'll probably suggest Mason Greenwood, because I think he'll have more game time. But for a captaincy option, I think both are a possibility. It's just the fear of one going a bit bigger.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I think you're right that fan aspect of things. People, especially with United, they want to put on a show for the fans. And first game back, you will expect some fireworks. As you said, like they might go hard this week, because they have a pretty safe lead in the Premier League in terms of points as well. I don't think they're too concerned about coming second or third or whatever. They do have.
I think they have second also probably wrapped up by now.
Pretty much, yeah. They're 4 points ahead of Leicester, who's coming third. Leicester's got a hard fixture.
They have to play Chelsea.
So it's not like it's going to be straightforward. Yeah, look, I think they'll probably go hard this game. Starting 11 standard, and then rest everyone for Wolves game.
And then obviously the obvious ones, Liverpool playing Burnley, who have forgotten how to defend and are deciding to attack. So they'll also be very open.
I actually think it's to do with the management. Like I was watching that the Burnley game, and both Wood and Vidra got subbed out at the same time.
Yeah,
Double
for
substitution.
Jay Rodriguez
Two
and
forwards.
yeah.
Yeah. It's so weird. Like Ashley Barnes and Jay Rodriguez. I'm like, what were they thinking? I just don't understand what the strategy was behind that. Because the problem wasn't with the attack. Like they weren't getting the ball at all.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It was for me it looked
There was
like
hardly any service.
There was nothing. So for me, it looked like
Yeah.
really bad management there and coaching. So yeah, look, Burnley and Liverpool in the red hot form. They are hungry for wins. And we talked about captaincy choices. You talked about Salah being obviously a choice. I actually wouldn't discount Trent. He has been, a very, very attacking option recently. I watched Trent like last couple of games and he looked amazing. Like the way he was attacking. And you watch in fast breaks, after Salah, the one right behind him is Trent from defense. He's got that stamina, he's got the speed, he's got the attacking prowess on corners, free kicks, everything. He's a complete package. Obviously, he's a high price point at 10.6. And a bit of risk always captaining a defender, but he's
the most, because he seemed to be the one who gets the most likely, like the highest. When you watch Liverpool play, you don't see Salah as threatening. Like you see Trent always just whipping in those balls there.
Scary.
And he seems like the one who could get the highest points out of the lot in that.
Look, only thing is when you go with the defender for Liverpool is that you shouldn't be too concerned about the clean sheet because that's probably second. If he gets that, it's a bonus. So you're really treating Trent like an attacker. You're going into, so you shouldn't really expect the clean sheet. If he gets a clean sheet, great.
Yeah.
And a team like Burnley who struggled last week, yes, high likelihood. But look, you talk about Burnley being bad, and you also talk about the expected goals where Chris Wood is coming second in that. So, so it's
so that's the thing.
So many factors.
So there's a lot to consider. And then obviously Spurs, Harry Kane is playing Aston Villa, who don't know how to keep goals out at the moment right now. Martinez is doing his best, and I guess that's something to kind of consider. I think if I was to favor between Salah or Harry Kane, I still favor Salah, just because of the fact that Aston Villa's keeper is Martinez, and he's capable of keeping a lot of saves.
Yeah, and if you look at the goals that Salah's got, they were a bit like flick. So Zaha's one was a rebound, completely changed direction. Benteke's one was a good header, which sort of he was unmarked or like he just jumped over whatever. And Ezzy's one, he's kind of just shouldered it in. Tyrick Mitchell's one, he's kind of shouldered it in. So there weren't any convincing bad goalkeeping as such, that he had a few good saves as well. So Martinez is a big threat.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider. But yeah, look, Harry Kane is in good form. Spurs attack is in good form now. So yeah, it's going to be a goal fest, I think.
That's right. So there isn't an obvious captain candidate. I think there's differentials. And it depends. Any of the captain candidates mentioned can go big. So we'll see how it happens. Obviously, game week is tomorrow. So let's see how we go. But yeah, I think we'll end it here. I think my computer is also starting to crash for some reason. Yeah, okay. So let me stop share because my computer is deciding to. There we go. My computer is deciding to crash, which means I guess it's time to end this. So thank you, Rushant, for joining. If you guys are new, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know what rank you plan on getting, whether it's top 100K, top 50K, top 10K. Let us know down in the comments what your plans are for this game week. And we'll see you guys, I think maybe Thursday or Friday, because the next deadline is fast and approaching as well. So we'll see you guys for the next video as well. So thank you for watching.
See you guys. Peace.